This is Feed Your Mind, and so I came across some pretty interesting information about the black sun. And so basically, this information is coming from an insider from the 1% group that we call, well, we can't call their names out on these platforms, but you know who they are. So we got to take this information with a grain of salt, but basically, it goes like this. So I'm going to leave a link for his demonstration in the comments section and description box so you can check it out. But make sure you watch this video first because the video doesn't have any commentary. So I'm going to break down what this guy was drawing. He drew out exactly what he's saying is the hidden knowledge that these people have been holding from humanity since before Egypt. You know, because these secret groups came up with the heliocentric model eventually, and they brainwashed the world to hide the creator and to hide, you know, well, they basically invented atheism. And so this is the information that they've been keeping apparently, but we do got to take it with a grain of salt, seeing who it's coming from. So basically, they're saying this black sun, well, I should start like this. Basically, Earth, he's describing as this disc, like a CD, and in the center of this disc would be a hole, right? So above the hole would be the North Polaris, beneath the hole would be the South Polaris. So this South Polaris is better known as the black sun. I'm calling it the South Polaris in this video because it makes more sense now, because at first when I was researching, I didn't understand that this black sun is said to not move. It's said to be a fixed star beneath the earth, directly below the North Polaris. You see, heliocentrists think the South Pole is in the Antarctica area, but really the South Pole would be beneath the North Pole, which makes much more sense because it would be just like a magnet. And a magnet has a North and South Pole, and that would make much more sense, especially even with the toroidal energy field that the firmament is said to be made of. And so around this hole of the CD would be a mountain range. And this mountain range people have called Mount Meru, others have called it Mount Olympus. If you watch the intro of the Paramount pictures, you'll see the stars falling from heaven and gathering around a mountain. Well, that information comes from the Bible, where the fallen ones gathered around a mountain. I think they called it Mount Hermon or something. So basically, this mountain range looks like it's a tall mountain that would protect people from finding this hole beneath that leads to the underworld, where this black sun is. And as this guy is describing his model, it almost looks like he's saying this underworld would be a mirror world almost, where it'd be upside down world. Now, that's not my favorite thing, because I'm not a big fan of thinking people are living upside down and their up is our down. You know what I mean? That just gets kind of weird. That's what moved me away from the globe earth thinking, is when they kept saying people are living around a ball, you know, and up is everywhere. You know, there's no real up, but on a flat earth, there is a real up. Well, this guy's almost suggesting that there's continents beneath and water, you know, ocean and continents, and I would guess another sun and the moon as well. So that's up to you to decide. I'd like to know your thoughts on that. That gets a little out there though. But as far as this black sun beneath, I mean, that's pretty interesting. And that hole in the mountains, all that makes a lot of sense. And what he's saying is this black sun is actually what's lighting up the moon. You see, the black sun emits energy upwards like a upside down triangle. Same thing for the North Polaris. It emits energy downwards like a triangle. So that triangle would, once it reaches the surface, is what we call the equator. And so the energy from beneath, from this black sun, or the South Polaris, if you will, as it emits energy upwards, when the moon is exposed to this energy, he's saying that's what's lighting up the moon, not the sun. The sun's not lighting up the moon. It's the energy, he's saying, from this black sun. And it's almost like a black light, if you will. So they're saying that when the moon is exposed to this black sun energy, it lights it up. And that's how you got a half moon and a quarter moon and, the different cycles of the moon. Now, the plane that the moon dwells on, the sun and the moon, is, they're saying, well, basically, like I said, how the energy upwards from the black sun would be like a triangle, like an upside down triangle. Well, the energy from the north Polaris would emit downwards like a correct right side up triangle. Well, that creates a 6-point star. And so you have a layer above where the energies intersect, which would be the top two arms of the star, of the 6-point star. And that's where the sun and the moon would dwell. And it's almost as if these energies is what manifests the sun and the moon, possibly. So they would dwell on that path above the surface. And there could possibly be a copy below where there's another sun and the moon dwelling below in the upside down world. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of that upside down world stuff, but that's just kind of what I'm taking from this information and how he was describing it with his pictures. So another thing he's saying is basically the Earth is dwelling inside this oblate spheroid energy field, which would be the toroidal energy field, and the sun and the moon, well, the South Polaris and North Polaris would be like the magnet, the South Pole and the North Pole. And one thing I definitely disagree with in his video is when he goes into saying how high above the sun and moon is, and he's saying about 3,300 miles. I kind of disagree with that because I think it's much lower. They even say that's the scientists are saying space even starts around 60 or 70 miles. So I was making estimates of the firmament being somewhere around 60 or 70 miles, if even that high. And, because that depends on if you believe that GoPro rocket actually reached 70 miles. And so most balloons stop at about 33 miles high. So maybe he has some decimals off. If he's saying 3,300 miles, maybe it's actually 33 miles up, possibly, but who knows? I mean, like I said, I've ranged anywhere from 33 to 70 miles in my estimates. And then he's saying the moon's diameter would be about 32 miles, so maybe that's actually 3.2 miles in diameter, Like I said, though, I mean, you got to take his information with a grain of salt, seeing who it's coming from. It's coming from the 1%ers. And to even know this information sounds like you would have had to have been in communication with other beings or something to even get this information. And I feel like they probably are getting a lot of their information from the fallen ones. So, and they're full of lies and stuff like that. So who knows what to really make of this information, but I would like to know your thoughts. And one last thing is, in the video, at the end, there's an interesting thing about Solomon. So I know these secret groups have some type of dealings with Solomon, and Hiram Abiff, I believe, is how they model their temples after. Their temples in a lot of cities across the world are said to be modeled after Hiram Abiff, who was dealing with Solomon. They're kind of working together from what I remember. Solomon kind of hired Hiram Abiff, I believe, to help make these temples from what I remember, but I'm not sure. But basically, they're saying Solomon, though, is an acronym or whatever. They're saying like it's a conjunction of 3 words, Solomon. Now, I do know Sol means the sun in a lot of languages. So S-O-L, Sol, meaning the sun. And then O-M, I know that's like a meditation word or something for a lot of these groups, Om. And then Mun, I never thought of meaning as the moon. So they're saying like Solomon means sun and moon, basically. I found that pretty interesting. Never really thought about breaking it down like that, and it actually looks like it makes sense, surprisingly. So anyways, let me know your thoughts about everything we covered in this video. When it comes to the hole in the center of the earth like a CD, let me know your thoughts about the black sun. And like I said, they're saying that he's saying like the black sun is what's emitting the northern lights, but I was assuming that the northern lights was emitting from the North Polaris, so it's like he has that whole thing backwards, I would think. But let me know your thoughts about that, and then also the mountain range, and let me know what you think about that mirror world, upside down world. Now, he didn't say that, but that's kind of what he was, when he said there's continents beneath the earth as well as above the earth, and he drew the continents on the other side of the CD disc. That's what he was suggesting. It was like, okay, I kind of see that he's saying this, there's like a mirror world is what I was taking from that. But I'm not sure if that's what he meant, because like I said, there's no commentary in the video. But I did kind of consider that before, but I mean, it just seems a little like it could be a little far-fetched. But let me know your thoughts anyways on that as well. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna leave the link so you can check out the video from this 1%er insider who has apparently revealed what they believe about this earth and what they've been hiding from the world. Let me know your thoughts about all that, and check out the video. Links in the comment section and description box. I'm also going to leave links to my free email newsletters and my other channels and my social media. I'm also going to leave links if you would like to support this channel. You can donate as little as $1 to help keep Feature Mind online. I also have a join membership button here on YouTube. Your support is also going to help me get out much more documentary style videos. So thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feature Mind signing off.